Good afternoon, guys. Today I'm going to be designing with you in less than 20 minutes a simple gift for Mother's Day. It's coming right up. So let's first insert a canvas, insert from our computer. I've already downloaded the heart I'm going to be using as a canvas. Yeah, heart PNG. Okay, and you're going to be inserting that one. You don't really need a canvas for such a simple shape, but what the hell, why not make it easier for us? And a canvas is very useful if you want to recreate faces or other organic shapes and you want to be extremely precise. So we're going to create a sketch on a plane that is parallel to our canvas, and then we're going to be using our control point spline to create a spline and an actual sketch face. So let me do this rapidly for you guys. So you've seen we can create the spline tool extremely fast. Now why do we use control points? Because you can pull and push control points to actually correct the line, and you use more control points whenever the curvature changes rapidly, whether it's increasing or decreasing, it doesn't really matter. When it changes rapidly, you use more control points, and when it's rather a smooth change, a gradual change, you use less. So in the bottom part of the heart, we are more gradual, and the top part we have to be a little more intensive. So we go here into our sketch. We can easily just pull out certain points to correct them, to have our sketch line trace almost perfectly onto the actual underlying canvas. Um, but a lot of those things you're going to do in significantly more intensive or just complicated if you work to recreate faces. Um, Faces are extremely complicated, by the way. This is probably the least useful technique to do faces. But generally speaking, if you want to correct small things, this is a good place to start. Now, this again is not, I would not recommend it if you have extremely high dimensional constraints. So if you really want certain distances to be to reach certain points, well, this is not a good enough method, because quite frankly, this method is a lot of eyeballing it, and yeah, it's never a good idea to eyeball so many things if you have extreme mechanical expectations. So we are good right here. We finish the sketch. We can shut down the canvas, and now we go into extruding symmetrical, and I want symmetrical to be able to keep it everything in the middle. uh, and I'm just gonna put, let's say, 60 millimeters. Should be fine. Now I would love for it to open from the top, and you have a small container compartment inside. So how do you do this? You create an offset plane, you push the offset plane a little bit over your item, and then you create a sketch. And this time we're gonna be use the ellipse tool. So I'm putting the middle where the middle of my item is. That's why I wanted the middle point. I'm gonna put the external point, the edge, a little bit outside, and then we're gonna have to have decide the thickness of the distance. Now I would put 40. 35 is actually looks a little bit better, because I want it to be somewhat thicker in the middle and taper inwards as it gets to the edge. So you use an ellipse to achieve this kind of finish. So we finish the sketch here, and then we go into the extrude. But if you extrude simply like that, you're gonna get a cut operation instantly. We don't want that. What we do want is the intersect operation, which allows us to only retain what's in an intersection between our design and the body. So we have already, and we're in a very good place. So let me put some very cool. Uh, let's go to the we've arrived in already a very nice point. The heart looks fantastic. So I would like to do a little bit of a fillet operation just to make it appear somewhat prettier. A little bit of a fillet just to remove all those really aggressive edges. So what's the next step? So we've created a very perfect body, but now I would like to split. So what do? We use a line, we go under the trough, and we create a very simple line that goes just under the trough. We finish the sketch, and now we have a line and the body, so we can do an operation. So what that operation? So that's a split body operation. We choose our body, we choose our line tool, and voila, you've got right now two bodies that are separate, um, that allow you to build your box. So what do we do next? A box has to have an internal cavity, obviously. So you use your cell, you use the rounded cell type, and then you put this is going to be your wall thickness, let's say 2 millimeters. It's robust enough, but it leaves enough space for us to actually store something if it's going to be even remotely used. So we do the same thing for the lid. The reason is to just maximize internal space and minimize the expenditure of material, and we are already in a very, very nice place. Now we go once again to our body, and this lid, the way it's made, is going to be sitting atop the lower part of the heart. We don't want that because we don't want it to move or fall off. So we have to build a lip. So how do we achieve this? We create a sketch based on the face that is going to be the face that's the the cut face created by our cutting tool, and we will use our offset tool. We'll choose the inner lip, we will pull a small lip, it doesn't matter how far it is, and then we will pull one and make it somewhat more inside. And this one, I would make it a multiple of our printing thickness. So printing thickness is 0.42, so I'm going to put it at 8.4, so that's twice the thickness. And why did I do this? Because we have internal curvature. If we were to just create one offset area and just use this new almost sketch created by the boundaries of our body and our new sketch, it could create certain anomalies which wouldn't allow us to create a nice lead. There would be points in the curvature either on the over the lead or the box, or it will be further from the point that we are doing the extrusion, so it would be an uneven creation of a lead. So we pull this one upwards. Let's say 5 is a little bit too much. 1.2. Again, that's a multiple of our printing depth. And then we open up this one and our last sketch. And this time we're going to be using both of those areas, and we're going to be extruding them 1.5, 1.2 millimeters to create the indentation in which our bottom, our lid is going to sit. So generally speaking, we are almost finished, but I would like to add a couple more things that are personalizations. So we're going to be creating an offset plane. We're going to pull it as far away we can from our body as possible, and then we're going to be creating a sketch on that offset plane. And then I'm going to create a conic curve. Let me put it right here. Just create a small curvature, and this is, once again, it's a tool. And then I'm going to be creating a text on path, and the path is going to be the line tool. So I'm going to put the message best mom. I've already pre-selected Castellar as a font. You could select other ones. Cooper Black is also very, very nice, and I probably I will probably choose Cooper and just make the height of the character significantly better. The reason is very simple. When you are embossing or debossing or creating fine details, if the details are very fine, they may not be printed. So you want the actual font and the typeface to be thick if you're creating to be appropriately thick with your nozzle. I'm using a 0, 0.4 nozzle, so it has to be somewhat thick. Now, uh, very careful, choose your placement above or below, and then your flip is going to allow you to have how it's going to be read. So we are good where we are. I press OK, finish my sketch. Now I have to enable seeing my sketches. This one I do not care. And then you're going to use your emboss command. Once again, you're going to choose your sketch, you're going to choose your face, you're going to deboss, and a depth of 0.5 I think is actually pretty perfect. Let me do that. And we are 90% finished. We could leave it as it is, but if we were to create this one, there is a problem. It cannot sit. So we have to do some corrections. So what do? We create, first of all, a circular which is going to be the base. I'm gonna finish this one, and then I'm just gonna create a new body this time. No cutting, just a new body. And just to make it easier for us, we will just make the other two not obvious. And I would like it to make it, let's say, 10 millimeters in height. I will do a fillet just to make it almost like a base perfectly. Now we open this once, and then I have to move my base lower. This is about perfect, I think, and this is a very, very nice gift. Now, if you were to export them, it would be three different things. You don't have to do. What you can do is use your combine. You pick the lower body, you pick the base, you combine them, and now you have two bodies. You have this one, which is your lower half with your base, and the top one, which is going to be the cap. So this is it. We are done. If you forgot your mother, you shouldn't, and you have a 3D printer, uh, you can just create a personalized gift extremely fast. I'm probably less than 20 minutes here. So I'm Thanos. If you like what you heard, like, subscribe, and share this video with others. Hopefully not forgetful about their mothers, wives, daughters, friends, bosses. I don't know what you have. But guys, like, subscribe, and let me see you on the next video. Bye.